Hi, welcome to the Personal Finance and Coffee Podcast. I'm Gabriela, and on this channel we talk about money, we talk about finances, how to arrange it, so that we don't work and 5 years later, 10 years later, we feel like, where's all the money gone? That's what this channel is about. Managing your money to reduce anxiety. Today, I would like to welcome you to the channel, welcome you back. We've been having a series ongoing. It has brought on so many new subscribers. Thank you for being here. For those who have always been here, thank you for keeping up with me. Today we're having a monthly reset, Feb. And today's monthly reset has been so much needed because as the children are getting ready to go back to school, you find your head is all over the place. So in this reset, I decided to categorize them and in batches so that I could kind of have a day for this, another day for this, like I normally do. So let me start with the reflection of January. January was, I personally, it was very calm because the children on holiday, they've been with their grandparents up country. So it's been like silence. Because by the time now, coming back, you've already missed them and you're ready to get back into having them join you. So it's been a very calm month in terms of that generally. So it's just work, home, a few social events, not much happening. But I can say, okay, that's my January, that's my reflection. So that's the first thing I usually do. And when I'm going through these reflections, sometimes I journal about my highlights, or like in my plan I have a section where I just highlights. What are my highlights for the month? It's not like a full out session of writing, but I just point highlights of the month to kind of give me a feel of what the month was like. Some of the lessons that I learned in this past month. So normally on my account, I don't have money that I can easily swipe. And this time I put some money. And my observation is the chances of spending money were higher because every time I would feel like going to a cafe, every time I was in a supermarket, I would not even worry because it's not about how much I have in cash. It's just about how much is on the card. So it was easier for me to swipe. So I'd always known this, but it has been a long time since I've done it. So it was just a renewed version of this lesson. That was my lesson. So if I can just minimize that, it's easier to manage my expenses. If I minimize how much is liquid on the account, and so it helps me manage the impulse spending, because if I don't have the cash, I can't buy it. For me, that is what works for me anyway. That was just my lesson from the month of Jan. Now, this reset, I'm starting with the first category of back to school. The children are going to school, and my current last born is starting school, baby class. So we are moving from 2 children being in school to a 3rd child being in school. And you guys know what that means, the dynamics change. So we've been having a lot of how will this work, and that whole thought process, and the registration and the shopping and all those things. So it's what I'm processing in terms of the cost, in terms of when will I do these activities. So that's the first part that I'm having for my reset. Please remember that I don't do all these things on one day. I start my reset, this time I started my reset around the 21st of Jan. So when I have time, I schedule in time for reflection, and then I schedule in time for thinking through the process of the children. So I batch it, I section it out because it would be so overwhelming. So it can take me about a week. And given that this time the kids are even going back to school, in addition to my everyday, I have to factor in going shopping for them. There are other things that are in this month of Feb that is coming up that are not normally there. So that is why I needed to start even much earlier than I normally do. So that is the second thing that I'm going to do. The first was reflection, the second is the children, and thinking through the things that need to get done and the costs involved. The third that I work on is the budget. Closing out the budget, tracking the finances, setting up the budget for the upcoming month, working on the cash stuffing, envelopes. All these concepts, I have different videos about them, like monthly reset videos that I have about them. So this is what I work on as in terms of finances, and okay, where am I standing? Did I overspend last month? Did I save? Did I, just understanding where the money is at. Once I'm done with the finances side of it, the next category that I'm going to work on are the groceries. Now, I have a full episode about a monthly reset where I talked about groceries. The reason why groceries are a whole item of their own is because I need to go through the house and see what non-perishables are done, and then I know which bulk, in quotes bulk shopping do I need to do for the non-perishables. And then I need to look at what is my budget for the month for food, and then how much, when I divide by the number of weeks, the 4 weeks, how much will I need to spend per week on those groceries, the perishable ones, the market things. And then I make a draft shopping list that I will follow per week. Of course, this draft shopping list changes depending on the week, depending on the activities, but it just gives me like a framework to think around, and it reduces my anxiety of wondering, do I have enough food to take for the whole, like do I have enough money to buy food like for the whole month, and things like that. So when I do this planning beforehand, it kind of, as the month goes on, my brain is clear. I don't have to worry. There's no washing soap, there's no Omo. Those things are not a problem anymore, because I know in a month we use maybe 4 bars of soup, we use 2 kgs of Omo, and then I buy them at the beginning of the month. So the next section is planning for these groceries and what it would mean. And I also plan the day I will actually buy them. A new development that I started last month is batch cooking. I tried it last month, and you guys, I just pray that I have time to keep this up, because it saves me so much time. And I don't have to keep like sauces, you know, when the sauces are done, you just go and add a few foods. So anyway, I want to add batch cooking to this list. So what I'm thinking, it worked last month, but last month were just 2 people in the house. So I'm thinking this month, when the children are back, I'll still do the sauces, but maybe I'll be more intentional about when we will have those sauces, you know, because when you're 2 people, sometimes you're either late, sometimes you're not there, but when the children are here, every day you're eating. So I want to try the batch cooking, and batch cooking is going to be under this category of groceries. I'll let you know how it goes. So that is my next category, the groceries. So we reflected, I have thought through the process of the kids going back to school, I've closed out my budget, set up the new budget, and I've thought about the groceries. My next item is my planner. I've given you guys a flip through of my planner, and in my planner, this is where it really helps me be less anxious and be more present, and it's the place where I start my week, and in case anything comes at me, if I write it, I will remember it. If I don't write it, it will go, because there's so many pieces moving in my life, at work and everything. So I need to set up my planner. So I make the weekly spreads, and then I put the headings, because I use a stencil when I'm writing so that it looks very neat. It takes a long time, and I'm hoping it takes a long time, let me be honest. But let me put a side note. Where do I get the time to do all these things? Now, there are things that I eliminate out of my life. There are things I don't do as much anymore. I don't get home and watch movies. I have less frequent social engagements. So such things really give me time to do these things. If you feel like, how do you do that? If you're in a season of life where you just don't have the time, pick what is applicable to you. I'm just giving you ideas and sharing the concepts that are working for me in this season. They're going to change, guys, but in this season, it's what is working for me. Now, so where are we? That was a side note. So I work on my planner, and then I set it up. Then once I'm done with the planner, my last category, which is also a new category, is planning for the content. I think about what topics am I going to share with you on the podcast, what action steps need to be done, and when do I need to do them by, like when is the deadline for me to keep consistent here on YouTube. So if you have any topics you'd like me to talk about in terms of finances, please leave your questions in the comments below so that I can always come back to them. There are those who have left requests, and I'm working on the requests. I'm working on the episodes that are going to come up. So that is my last and final step in this reset process. The whole intention of me resetting for the month is so that I make these decisions in advance, and then on a day-to-day basis, I am just taking action. I don't have to think and make decisions on a day-to-day basis. But next month is going to be interesting, in quotes, overwhelming, with back to school, and now we have 3 children to prepare for school, a few changes are going to happen, but we'll see how it goes. What doesn't work, I'll let you know. If you have any ideas, what do you do to prepare for the month, please leave them in the comments. It will be interesting to listen to your ideas as well, because I'm always learning, you know. I don't have it all figured out, so I'm always learning. And I'm always learning. So I have a link for a monthly reset that I had. This is my monthly reset, where I explained in detail about the grocery shopping and how I do it. So if you're curious about that, you can click this link. If you found this interesting, please like, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.